Hi folks, Season 1, Episode 6. Writing a trig ratio, finding a missing side length, and finding a missing angle measure. This is all review. So hopefully you can just watch this. I'm going to rush through it. We are asked to write a trig ratio for angle A. So I look at the triangle that I'm given and I highlight, circle, do whatever I need to do so I can see angle A, which is my reference angle. So sine, we remember SOHCAHTOA, SOHCAHTOA is the mnemonic that helps us remember that sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So the opposite side is 12 and the hypotenuse is 15. I can simplify that. I can reduce this. So 12 and 15 are both divisible by 3. So if I divide both by 3, I end up getting 4/5 is the sine of angle A. Cosine, adjacent over hypotenuse. So that is side length 9 over 15. So 9 over 15, both numbers are divisible by 3. So we have 3/5 is cosine, tangent, TOA, opposite over adjacent. So that is 12 over 9, which simplifies to 4/3. Okay, so say I was asked to find the sine, cosine, and tangent ratios of angle B. I'm going to highlight angle B. That is my new reference angle. So my side lengths change. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so 9 over 15. Hey, we wrote that number already. We wrote that for cosine A. They're cofunctions. 3 over 5. Cosine B, so remember, look at angle B, 12 over 15. Hey, remember writing that one down too. That simplifies to 4/5. Pretty cool, right? Sine and cosine, cofunctions. And then tangent for angle B is opposite over adjacent, so 9 over 12, which simplifies to 3/4, the reciprocal of A. So that's writing a trig ratio. And I'm sorry the numbers keep coming across my camera gets lower and lower as time goes on. So there's your answers. The next thing we're going to do is find a missing side length given an angle measure and another side length. Step number 1. We want to look at our triangle to find out what information we're given. We're given 50 degrees as an angle. We're given the side length next to it as X, so I'm going to label that A, that's the adjacent side, and I'm given the hypotenuse, so I'm going to label that H. I just wrote down the letters A and H, which should clue me into the fact that I need to use the cosine ratio. So cosine of the angle, 50 over 1, is equal to X over 10. I'm going to cross multiply and get X is equal to 10 cosine 50. And some of you, I think because you have different calculators at home, need to check to make sure that you are in degrees and not radians. So on your calculator, hit mode. And if you look, my cursor is blinking on the word normal. And if I go down, I can see that degree is highlighted and now blinking. So good, I'm set at degrees. So how do I solve this? Oops. Oh my goodness, second quit. Clear. All right, so what I do in my calculator, 10 cosine 50. In my parentheses, hit enter, I get 64.27, round to the nearest 10. So X is equal to 6.4. Okay, finding the missing side length given a different triangle. I have 42 degrees is given. I also have the side next to it. Oh, cosine again. This is going to be adjacent. I need to find the hypotenuse this time. I'm going to label that h. So I'm using cosine again. I have cosine 42 over 1 is equal to 16 over x. Cross multiply, and I get x cos 42 is equal to 16. Now I'm just doing algebra here. I'm going to divide both sides by cosine 42. Cosines cancel out because they're just numbers, and I get x is equal to 16 divided by cosine 42. Off to the side, I'm just entering this into my calculator, and I come up with 21.53, which rounded to the nearest tenth is 21.5. So that is how you find missing side lengths. The last thing I'm going to do in this video is we're going to find a missing angle measure. So I'm going to draw a right triangle. Let's find this angle, and I'm just going to make up two sides. Let's try something different. We'll use the sine ratio this time. So I'll give this one 5, and I'll give this 13. Okay, so I have a right triangle. I need to find this angle, and I'm given two side lengths. Same process. I find my reference angle, which is x. I look at the numbers I'm given, the side lengths. 5 is the opposite side, and 13 is the hypotenuse. So I just wrote down O and H. That means I'm going to use the sine ratio. So SOHCAHTOA. Sine x, I don't know the angle, so I give it a variable x. I can put that over 1 if I want, doesn't matter. Is equal to 5 over 13. Okay, cross multiplying isn't really going to help me here. What I can do, however, is to find x, I need to use the inverse function. So I'm going to take the inverse of both sides, which looks like x is equal to the sine -1 of 5 over 13. So I'll show you how to put this in your calculator in case you forgot. So we need the blue buttons here. So second sine, and then inside of the parentheses, I'm going to put 5 divided by 13 end parentheses, and hit enter. And I get 22.6 degrees. We're supposed to round to the nearest whole number, so that rounds to 23 degrees. So x is equal to 23 degrees. Just by chance, what if we needed to find this angle over here? Well, I just subtract 23 from 90 because the whole triangle has to add up to 180 degrees. So this other angle is 67, in case you were curious. See you later.